welcome once again to an exciting patch note show. 4.2 is here. King of the Kappa is the name of the patch, and we'll get right to that a little later on. But obviously joining me is going to be Harry's Fishman and Harry's Ajax as well. Pleasure as always, gentlemen. Obviously, both members of the design team. We've got some exciting things to look forward to here today.
Oh, yeah.
Some of my favorites.
And we should start off with exactly the skins. As always, we'll start right at the top of the shop, and the first one coming your way this patch will be Fafnir. Yes, Fafnir is getting a new, sexy-looking skin, and it's called the Dreadlord Fafnir as well.
What is that dragon in the back? That looks so cool.
Is it a bone dragon or something there?
I think it's a
yeah.
bone dragon.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of a dark, you know, necromancer theme here.
Now, I believe all these skins as well, boys and girls, they're all tier 3 this week, I believe, that we're going through, apart from Mastery updated skins, correct?
Yeah, we have a bunch of new skins, all with full effects voice pack treatment.
Whole works.
I like the purple being like a sort of demonic sort of look to him with the skull on his chest too, and there he is in all his glory. Right about now as well. That shield that's made of a skull looks fantastic.
A lot of bone.
That glorified Viking helmet at the top there really giving highlights. It's cool.
Yeah, really nice highlights.
I love the shoulder pads here too. More dragon skulls.
Yeah, it's a bit strange that like he turns into a dragon, but then has dragons on his armor too to signify that he's killed other dragons to actually, you know,
yeah, I mean,
get
he's
to this
just
form.
a dragony god, so why wouldn't he have more dragon themes?
The main thing is the
bone
pouch.
dragons.
The pouch on the back is always the key.
Of course. See, he's got full passive. That's why it's so glowy.
He's
if
always
he had
rich.
spent all his money, then it wouldn't be so much.
Well, Pompon, show us how he looks with the abilities this patch as well. With his hammer, first of all.
Oh, it's got a lot more dark.
He's got a lot of abilities thinking about it too.
Oh, yeah, you get to see the full suite.
He's got twice the abilities of a normal god.
And then we're going to throw that at Odin, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Get
old
him.
Odin.
Get hammered. There's a lot more black, and there seems to be some kind of demonic.
Yeah, the runes on the ground.
Yeah.
Pentagram type deal there.
I love when we do this.
And then we've also got Coerce as well, which you can put on a teammate. There we go. You can see what a Coerce looks like. Little dancing man as always.
different
has to
dancing
happen.
Fafnir, though.
Look at that evil dance.
He's not dancing, he's stomping his foot at you in rage.
He's dancing.
All right, fine.
And next, my favorite ability to name, Underhanded Tactics. It's so easy to cast that one. I say that all the time. Hey guys, Fafnir's Underhanded Tactics is down.
I
Hey,
remember
man.
when you told me when we were working on Fafnir how great that name was.
Yeah,
and I
it's
was like, well, we'll
fantastic.
make sure the design team keeps it then.
As long as we're not talking about Whirlwind of Rage and Steel anymore, then
A beautiful name. Washing machine is what one of our Australian cousins called it once, and yeah, he did
That's
so
what I hear.
quickly. And then here's the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
you really get to see the underlying like occulty effects there, which our team just does a really great job with. That's kind of their wheelhouse.
The dragon breath is awesome. I love that blue color.
Yeah, it's got a little.
That dragon is so sick.
Pawn, just use some of the abilities, and then we can
do something useful.
Yeah, use some abilities,
we can
Pawn.
we
Come
can
on.
pan around him first. That's cool. Oh, look at that. Look at his face.
He's so proud.
Badass.
Rawr. We could just sit and watch.
That's a
We
scary
don't have to
dragon.
say, there's something we need to add to this. Like, I like the way his wings are all slowly shredding away from himself, but he can still fly to an extent.
The tail
That
looks
actually
so
makes
more
more sense.
sinister when it's just a skeletal column.
Yeah,
That's true.
it looks awesome.
And the auto attacks we already saw, but they're also, I believe, blue.
It looks like they have a very blue, yeah.
What I think we got is Pawn waiting for it to expire so you can have more time to play around.
Now we'll see all the abilities. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks awesome.
You can literally see his soul leaving his body.
Over and over again.
He's got a lot of soul, doesn't
The
he?
end of a soul. He's got soul, but he is a soldier, that's for sure.
It's a good song.
The eye next to it as well.
Can do.
Underhanded Tactics 2.0, you ready?
Yeah.
Whee!
Dragon leap.
To be fair, he has got, like, you know, his wings are a bit messed up, so I can understand him only leaping.
That
Instead of flying.
Makes
targeter,
sense.
he, like the little like monochrome silhouette there is actually very cool and kind of like
It is cool.
Geiger-esque, and that's very neat looking.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, as per usual, because it's a tier 3, it does come with a voice pack. So our good man Pop Pop hopefully has the voice pack installed, and we can take a little
let's
listen
see.
in.
Bets are off.
You're worth preserving. Terrific.
That's right. He did it.
I'm the darkest force there is. Your pain will last for all eternity. You think you're going to stop me? That really raises my spirits.
Ah, a
Why
little
you
necromancy humor.
necromancers throw the best parties? People are just dying to get in.
I like it. It's got a lot of that same evil insanity that Fafnir has, but just a different flavor of it. He's like He, you know, in his lore, he lives out in the middle of nowhere, and he's just, I can imagine this guy doing the same thing. There's a big, like, ice castle of just a bunch of reanimated servants.
Terrific. I'm the darkest force there is.
And there's some of his
Do the
voice lines
taunt,
as well.
Spawn.
Do some taunt.
Because I love that animation, too. It's so badass.
You'd be a little more than my next meal if I don't tempt me. For you're crunchy and good with ketchup.
He's gonna eat
Which
some people.
god slew me? Trick question. I died of a natural cause. Not a single my own necromancer. So now.
And there's a little look at Fafnir. Next on the list, though, we've got more still to come. We're going to have the Heartbreaker of Heartbreakers, Nox. Also has a skin coming at us this patch as well. I guess it's very Valentine's themed, like we always do.
Yeah. It's not strictly Valentine's theme. It's,
Oh, is it not? I mean, it's Love Hearts, and I did see the Queen of Hearts card shown for this one before, but Love Hearts around Valentine's Day kind of makes sense.
It's close, yeah.
And there's a little look at her art, obviously. The card art looks fantastic as
Beautiful.
always. It's correct in all the right places, is what I want to say. For the most part there. And the dress is amazing.
I like the swap from like, oh man, she looks really hot. Oh, but that dress.
The dress is
so
quite
To be
nice.
fair, I just saw it, and this is the first time I've ever seen any of these skins this time, because normally I get a little look, but like the dress, the way it's actually cut, looks fantastic.
Yeah, and if Chuck was here, he would let you know that this Nox dress actually does have a bit of technical constraints and can be really difficult to work with. So the layering they got here worked out really well and looks awesome.
I think I could pull something like that off. I might cosplay that.
Sure.
I've been hearing about Hindu Man cosplays.
I may have the chest
so
for
long.
it if I keep working on it this year. I may get towards that chest area here.
If we get you the right bra, I could probably make it happen.
That'd be great. No bra needed. I don't think Nox has got a bra in here, let's be honest.
Well, whatever her shirt is made out of is helping that in some way. But I love these firing effects here. They got really nice colors, and you can see the clubs and hearts and spades in the particles.
Yeah, when you actually land the auto attacks, that's fantastic. It turns into hearts.
And even just in the traveling, you could see them, but a little more subtly.
Oh, yeah.
Showing you her poker face there.
First of all,
oh,
little hearts around the bottom as well, just to signify it. And then the silence of silences. Following up with... Does that change colour randomly, or was that just me? It's all clumps.
It was the targeter, I think. Oh, yeah, as it warms up, it gets...
It's not random. It's not like our merc skins, but it does warm up over the course of the explosion.
Go inside the ally, yeah. Oh, look at how pretty you are now.
Sometimes love hurts, you know? It shows there.
Yeah, we're about to see that with her ultimate.
We are. Let's see what it looks like with the ult as well.
Nice shot, Pawn. That looks awesome. I love the heart in it.
He's just been practicing too much on Joust, is what led to that.
Straight line shots.
Now, as it is a tier 3, it also comes with a voice pack as well, so Pompon, if you please.
Ooh, I am impressed. Brilliant. Oh, everybody has to worship me. You must be the queen of cringe. You have no idea what I'm capable of. How do we get rid of lesser gods? Off with their heads! I love talking to myself. It's the only way I get a decent conversation around here.
Definitely went with the queen theme here.
Yeah, you can really feel it.
I like it.
In the voice pack as well.
Poor Odin's heart is broken now.
Oh, it's sore, that's for sure, at least. And that's a look at Nox. Next on the list, we're going to be doing a bit of, let's see, Swarm Sentry on Moose and Cobb.
Oh, yeah, this one's amazing.
Now, this skin, we've seen a little bit of a leak of it earlier on, but this is it in its final form now.
Right.
And what fantastic card art that is as well.
This one's going to be part of the season ticket.
Oh, is it?
This is, I believe so, yeah. This is the earnable part of the season ticket that you don't need to buy the pass for.
Awesome. So just by playing the game, you can unlock this just by playing regularly.
Yep, and you have all year to do it.
Brilliant. Well, let's see what it looks like in game then as well, because it looks amazing. It reminds me a little bit of like, I don't know how to say it. It's like mechanical, obviously, like futuristic vibe to this.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of sci-fi, kind of transformery. And if Pawn, let's see if he'll do it. The helmet actually is all animated too. It's kind of opened up right now, but it'll all close down.
What, the helmet closes and opens?
Oh yeah, it looks really cool. I'm not sure exactly what triggers it, but
I do like the wings.
Neither is Pawn.
Yeah, I thought he did it in the idle, but maybe it's combat, or once he starts moving, it'll... So that's it all opened, and it'll...
Don't go through him.
A little too close, Pawn.
There's nothing inside.
But like in the card art, you can see his face mask was a lot more solid, closed almost like a knight's helmet or something, and it'll do that going forward.
Well, the best news is he's still left-handed.
Yeah.
For the most part. I believe he's one of our only left-handed gods, right?
Yeah.
One of the few.
Is it more than one?
I don't know.
The majority are definitely right-handed.
I'm just trying to think if Tyr's left-handed now. I think he is.
Is he missing his left hand?
He's missing the right or the left.
He's kind of constrained.
Well, yeah, right or the left.
It doesn't matter anymore. Oh, look at those hives.
Yeah, the hives are a completely different model with this like kind of sentry.
I love the little... You can hear the noise of them in the background. Like you could with the bees nearby, but you can actually hear them.
You almost
like
expect
the hum.
You almost expect the hive to start shooting it out, and it looks very aggressive and turrety.
That looks huge.
That's what normal swarms is big.
I know. I'm just saying, like, you know, when you see it in a different form, even though it's the same size, it does look bigger sometimes.
Well, the borders are a little more defined with this too, so you get that feeling. But he's got a lot of, you know, blue particle energy cannon feel here.
And there is the honey, as per usual. Not really honey this time, more like electric goop is what I'd probably call
Plasma,
that.
perhaps.
Sure, yeah.
Plasma is probably a better word than electric goop, but let's stay with electric goop.
Close
You're
enough.
An official nameologist.
I try so hard.
We should have just called it electric goop.
Yeah. Rename the whole ability.
And there's the stinger as well, pinned in, and what it looks like on the ground.
The old electro stinger.
The old classic stinger. Now this also comes with a voice pack as well, so we can have a listen to that after Pompon's done landing abilities.
You did good. Unbelievable! Yes, I am the master. Sorry. You came to the wrong hive. This will only sting a little. I am not bringing my A game. I am bringing my B game.
Oh, God.
Wow. That's a good one.
I actually really like... There are moments in his eye right there. You can see the hex pattern on his wings. It's very cool. It's like very hivey, but also very technological.
I didn't notice as well the clap. I think when he said, "I'm the greatest," he claps his top two hands as well together.
Yes, I am the master.
No, it's not that one. Whichever one it was, he claps his hands together, which looks really cool.
Yeah, it'll do that sometimes. But we went definitely with a kind of bounty hunter theme here, you know, space. He's obviously out to get you.
Now, once again, this is available by just playing the game. You can unlock this throughout the season. So it's, in all intents and purposes, a free skin.
There are a few prices that are better than free, I find.
What, where they pay you?
Yeah, I guess so.
To play?
I guess so.
To be fair, they get free gems every week, so, you know.
It's like we do.
Kind of counts.
Get paid to play, as it were.
Well, that's not the only skin we got this week. We do have another on the list as well, which is Mini Metal Jingwei.
Oh, yeah.
Mini Metal Jingwei.
That's right.
Oh, that's great.
What happened to her? She was so cute and nice, and now all of a sudden she hit her tweens, and the next minute she's not happy anymore.
You can't tell her what to do.
Sometimes you gotta throw the devil horns, all right? Mom and Dad do not know anything about her.
I've got a sister that did exactly that. They're about the same age, more than likely, as well, so I know those feels in this one.
At least it's accurate.
That face.
She looks very happy. I guess the recent nurse didn't make her happy, I guess.
Well,
She's for the most part.
She's hanging in there.
She'll be all right.
She can say as emo as she wants as long as that Fatalis effect stays away. That's my viewpoint on it. Anyway, but look at those wings. Those
The
wings
weapon turned out really awesome, too.
Very metal.
And that's one thing about Jingwei that we seem to like get a lot of work into is those weapons, because we've had the Super Soaker before with Jingwei, and now, you know, with this as well, it's supposed to be a guitar, I guess, of sorts?
No, it's just a fancier crossbow.
It's a fancier crossbow, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, is it like you can strum it at the same time for effect?
We put a lot of thought into this, Hindu.
I sometimes do. I overthink things way too much sometimes. Have a look at the auto attacks as well. Nice little red pew-pews.
Yeah, it's nice to get kind of a dark, different color theme for her. She's very bright and bubbly in all the other skins, so...
I'm just hoping a voice pack matches. That's what I'm hoping for here.
I was promised by Tina that it had lots of teen angst in it.
Oh, he's got Tina stuff in it?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
This is going to be a good voice pack then.
Odds are.
We say that.
You never really know for sure.
You never know.
I mean, they're all good. It's just which flavor of good you prefer.
So there's the empowered bolts, explosive bolts, I should say, of the two. And we've got agility as well, still to show.
Nice.
The empowered agility as well. And of course, finally, we still need the airstrike. Bye, loser.
It's got a little guitar riff kind of in the warm-up there.
Yep.
It's like, wow.
Now, obviously, it comes with a voice pack as well, so Pom Pom, for the final time of the voice packs today, take it away, please. Get me out, get me out, get me out.
Credit's all mine. Rock on, dude!
Yeah, dude.
I'll make this quick. I don't even want to be here. If you die, it'll make me feel better. Your skills are sucky.
Oh.
You know what 0 times 0 is? Because that is how much I care. Joke's over, puberty. You can make me hot now.
Oh.
I thought my hormones were hardcore, but it's just you.
What?
Okay, Tina.
What?
It's like
man.
a mix of apathy and math jokes. That's definitely the sweet spot.
Well, there's definitely some teenage angst in there, too.
We agreed to those voice lines?
We probably should have read them over
was
a few
that
more
vetted?
times.
No!
It's been a busy couple.
It was extreme vetted. Indeed.
I gave it a
so.
good. I
With
gave
that
it a
same
good
level
once
of
over.
effectiveness.
It seems so. So after that more punk, rock, emo, angsty, hardcore version of Jingwei, we can move on to the
Is
mastery
that a
skins.
dance emote pond that we're seeing right here?
I've got
An
emotes as well.
in-game
Apologies.
Jingwei dance emote.
Yes, Jingwei now has a dance emote.
Yes, this will be available for any of her skins then, not just this one. And
What's the dance based off? We definitely base them off something.
it's based off of her victory screen dance, which is
Great.
based off of something that Pond knows more about than I do. K-pop or something.
I'm just going to say for this one, it's based off of dance emo.
K-pop or something.
Close enough, right?
But
But
there's the new dance anyway that's going to be coming with her. But we can move on to mastery skins next as well. Now in the mastery skins, we're going to start things off with obviously one of the latest gods. With Morrigan is going to get her mastery skins available to her as well. And there's a little look at the card art for that one as well.
Ooh.
Beautiful, babe, right on your screen. I do love the artwork of the skin as well with the tattoos on there.
it looks great.
And let's have a look at that. We should be able to show you in-game as well. Now, obviously, that's the level 1 version of it. Then there's the legendary as well. And obviously the diamond version on top of that when you hit the rank 10. But she looks great in-game.
The card mostly showing off the gold on the weapon, but in-game you can see it on the belt and on the neck piece and on some of her hair pieces as well, getting that classic mastery feel.
We really tried to get some brighter colors on these blues and golds too. You know, we've been getting that feedback a lot. So I think Morrigan looks really good like this.
And next up is the legendary version. Oh, I like that one.
Legendary is always so badass.
Yeah,
you know?
it's legendary and diamond for me are always the two. I don't know why. The black and gold combo just works so well.
I'll even get Diamond Gods and still pick Legendary all
Same.
the time, though, because I prefer it.
Same.
Although legendary does always remind me of Purdue, the black and gold.
Are you a fan?
I mean, I have family who went there.
The diamond effect. Let's have a look at this one. It's a little bit...
This
Oh,
is
it's
slightly
feathers on the
different.
shoulders as well. There's a little bit of a difference here than what we've seen usually. The feathers on the shoulders obviously aren't the natural blue and diamond we're used to, but it does fit the outfit.
Diamond Zor, of course.
A
This
girl's best friend?
Yeah.
Wow, we've just been
You read my
song
mind.
references
Yeah.
all the time here today. That's how it's going to be.
So you get the brighter blue on the golden and a little bit more teal on the diamond. All those
and the
effects are great.
autos as well.
Oh, and the passive stim DoTA.
Fancy.
I really like the contrast of the dark feathers with the lighter blue and the diamond. That looks good.
It works out well. Now, obviously, we've been updating mastery skins as well as time has gone on. And so the next one to be updated is Jubalonke has had some mastery skin updates as well of his own. And there you can have a little look at him on your screen right about now. Jubalonke will have the update as we've seen before in the past as well. And this should put him in pretty good stead overall to continue what he's been doing. How's he doing in the season so far at the moment, AJ?
I mean, I think Jubalonke is one thing is that people underestimate his ultimate very often. It's really strong. So I think he's been doing really well. He has always a tough early game. That's kind of always been his thing. But he has really, really big chances for big impacts as you go on in the game.
Well, we'll see what he can do in the game right now as well. And that leopard print looks amazing. I really like that leopard print overall.
It is really looking good.
I'm actually concerned about how good the legendary version is going to look now because the blue one looks actually amazing. I love the shield as well. It looks like a real jaguar. He's looking like he's actually hiding inside it.
He hunches down so low. It can be tough to get those camera angles.
So
I like
there's a
the bolas too. Look good.
Look at the legendary after the golden as well. It's called golden. I've got to get that right one day. I always just call it tier 1. I always get confused.
That's not even close.
I know.
That describes a completely different type of skin.
That. Show me the shield. Show me the shield with the feather plumage. Plumage for days.
The gold with the jaguar spots just stands out really well.
It does. It works very, very nicely. And then finally, the diamond version as well. Obviously, these will all be updated in-game in the latest patch when this patch goes live. And the diamond one, he's shiny.
He is very shiny.
He can hide in the base and nobody will know he's there right now.
Nice. Yeah, he's covered up quite a bit, so get a lot of diamonds going on.
He really is. That's crazy overall with the diamonds there.
I mean, I'm a Diamond Jablonke, so I'm looking forward to this.
Okay.
Pull this one out. Although I do love his techno neon skin a lot too.
Now we mentioned Jablonke. Obviously, he's going to potentially be meta. We'll have to see how things work out with him, but he is going to be available with this latest skin. Now all these skins as well, just to remind you, we're going to have Fafnir, Nox, and Muzenkarb, Jingwei are all tier 3 skins, and they will all be available going forward in the future in the latest patch. But that's it for skins this week. Say goodbye to Jablonke, because next on the list is myself and a good friend of mine. I like to call him a friend, but we're not really. We're just acquaintances. Pop, how you doing?
Good. I mean, considering how you talk about me on the show and how I mess up all the time, it's...
And now you get to sit next to me and I get to do it to your face.
Oh, no.
How's that feel?
This is pretty bad.
This takes us back to the old school days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going old school because I'm on paper today. As you can see, we don't have time for anything like that. So we're going to...
you printed out all the changes and it's like even colored.
I have to. You can even see the colors on here where it's like, no, remove this. This was a bad idea. Import this because it was a good idea. We'll start things off with miscellaneous first of all before we go into item balance. Updated the lobby description for Clash.
Yep, it was incorrect. It's now updated.
Cool. Players will now only see the team boosters menu on queues that allow for rewards to be earned. Cool.
Yeah, so like Match the Day doesn't give you worshippers, so now you can't actually like waste it there.
Okay, and then on top of that, finally, we also adjusted the size of Demonic Pact Anubis to allow for better visibility in his final form.
Yeah, this is something we did an iteration on before, but it was a little bit too much, and so now we've toned it back down just to help with visibility issues.
Okay, cool. Now, on top of the miscellaneous, we then have map changes to talk about, and the map changes this week are only to do, I believe, with Clash.
Yes.
Predominantly is all Clash here.
Yes.
So I'm going to run through these really quick. First of all, I guess we should mention about like XP spooling and such, because that's what a lot of people have been speaking about.
Yeah, and so basically there's a lot of concern with the new Clash map that it kind of snowballed a little bit too quickly.
Yep.
People hit max level too quickly. And that came down to, there was actually a really good post about this where it was the jungle camps felt too easy. They felt like they gave really powerful buffs, and also that the XP spooling was there. We hit 2 of the 3. We hit the jungle camp health as well as the jungle camp buff strengths.
Okay.
To make sure that that wasn't affecting the game pace too badly. But we're going to hold on XP spooling because XP spooling overall we feel like is a good addition. It helps keep the game a little more even. The level 1, level 3 fights that you have where it's one team could wipe the other one, they get a massive lead and just end the game. This helps keep people a little bit more in. So we're just going to kind of watch it closely, see if we need to tone that down a little bit later, but that'll be in a future patch.
Cool. So, just to run through these then real quick. Apophis, is that how you say his name? Apophis?
Apophis.
Apophis, close enough. Base health increase from 3,200 to 5,600. On top of that, health per minute increase from 130 to 145. Mana buff enhanced. Reduce CDR from 20% to 15%. Reduce MP5 from 75 to 50. On top of that, the damage buff increased respawn time from 90 seconds to 120 seconds. Shadow of Apophis, reduce magical power gain from 70 to 50. And reduce physical power gain from 50 to 30. Available Apophis, the enhanced Apophis buff, has reduced magical gained from 100 to 70 and reduced physical power gained from 80 to 50. Not only that, the Phoenixes have increased physical power from 30 to 42 as well.
Yep.
So that's for all you Clash mains out there. Now, there is a small change to Conquest, which is added channeling effects for the Titan when they are opening a portal in their base.
Yeah,
so you can actually see
like
the portal.
their hand and like they do like a little wavy thing.
Just more of a flavor thing than anything else, pretty much.
It
It's
is.
not going to impact the Titan or anything to do with Conquest. It's just the Titan will show you he's spawning a portal.
Yep.
Cool things. On to items then. Now, the item section looks pretty slim this week, Pom Pom.
Yeah, there was, we're still watching people, and this is kind of going to be with all the changes, we're still watching people play the game, learn things. Some people were really valuing early clear. We've seen some people shift away from that, and so we're still getting a feel for all the items, but there's a particular tree that has kind of overshadowed all of that and is clearly a bit too strong, and so we're toning it down.
Just one tree that's overshadowed everything.
I think everyone knows what that is.
Are you sure? Like, I'm...
It's like pointy star throwy things, shurikens.
The shuriken tree is getting some adjustments to it, and it's going to start off with the 8-pointed shuriken. As you can see, this change is going to be a gold increase in cost. It's going to go from 1,500 to 1,700. On top of that, the wind demon, that's going to be changed as well with an increase in cost from 2,600 to 2,800. And not only that, we also are hitting poison star as well. Not only in its cost, but also in its power that it gives. It's going to go down from 30 to 20 in the power, and the cost is going up from 2,200 to 2,400.
Yeah.
Do we feel this is going to be enough, Pom Pom?
Well, this also, so a lot of people were talking about rushing crit, and making it more expensive kind of prohibits that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit more of a trade-off when you go for these items. The tier 2 being more expensive also makes it harder to build into, and then Poison Star, which was a lot of people were rushing really quickly to get crit early, the power is reduced on it, so it's less effective. We're going to watch this tree and see how it goes, but we feel like this is a pretty good first step to address it, and then see how people play around with the change.
Okay, so only the shuriken tree getting touched so far in the latest patch. Obviously, it's still early in the season, so things can still change in terms of itemization as of right now.
Yep.
Cool.
I think we'll actually see it this weekend. We'll see a lot of pro players see what their strats are.
And that's the key there. Relegations is this weekend. If you've not known about that, 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, you can tune in. EST time, obviously. Tune in, watch all the relegations, and see what the pros do in Season 4 for the first look at that. But we can move on to Gods now. Now, obviously, all these things won't change until this patch comes out, which will be the following week, more than likely. So just to give you an update there as well. Aphrodite, first on the list, and this is mainly an updated description change more than anything else.
Yes, this one is, through looking at it, it turns out that Aphrodite has been giving 70% of her mana regeneration to her allies, not 30% as it said.
Okay.
And instead of bringing that down to 30 because it's a really big nerf, she's been in a solid spot. We just want to make it so that she has 70% mana share.
Cool. So it's just a tooltip change to reflect the fact the tooltip was incorrect more than anything else. She's going to stay exactly the same overall there. Although it looks better now because you thought you were giving them 30. You've been actually giving them 70 all along.
When you meditate.
Next on the list is Chiron.
Chiron is getting some stuff.
Who's he? Is he a god?
He's a horse dude that teaches people, and he's getting a buff.
And what's the reason for the buffs, first of all? So
he's struggling overall with all the other ability hunters. When you kind of look at what his kit brings, he has a lot of utility, but he didn't have a lot of raw strength to back that up.
Okay.
And for a hunter, when you're trying to fill that role, you want someone who can bring a little bit more late game or early game punch. And so Chiron's getting a little bit of a change to make one of his Giddy Up a little bit more of a steroid.
Yep.
As well as the Centaurus is going to be a lot more impactful.
Well, here we go. Giddy Up, first of all, is going to have a physical power buff added to this ability when you use it. It's going to be scaled from 10 to 50 for the duration of the charge. So when you've actually fired those autos off, you're going to get an increased power. And I guess at the same time, that's also going to give you more damage on that ability if you connect with it.
Yeah, if you connect with it. Also, if you're building a crit build, 50 additional power towards a crit build is pretty good. So.
Yeah. In the later stages, for sure, that's definitely. And then on top of that, Centaurus as well, you can see the item changes. Sorry, the damage changes there on your screen. Increased damage from 100 to 280 is now going to be 130 to 310. So just reading through this real quick, it's around 20 to 30 change each time.
Yes, but that can hit 3 times. So that's up to a 90 damage change.
That's true.
And so this is to help him. Yeah, this is to help him. When you're looking at kind of the other similar ability hunters, his damage was pretty low. And also when it's relying on trying to secure a kill to get the revive effect, it just wasn't happening consistently enough. And so we're bringing that up a little bit so that you have those little, like those hype opportunities to have that happen, as well as his damage when he goes into like a big fight where he's using those ultimates a little bit more comparable.
Well, we'll see if that's enough to bring Chiron into form. And talking about bringing someone back into form, Kronos is the next one on the list. Are we nerfing him again?
No.
We're not?
We're buffing him.
We're buffing him. Well, let's go through the buffs first of all. You can explain why we're doing all these things, I guess, afterwards. Wheel of Time is going to be the first thing to be changed. The passive. The passive is now going to have, in the third section, the buff will go from magical power from 20% to 25% to a 5% increase there. And not only that, the power section of Section 4, which is for the basic attack power, that's going to be adjusted from 35% to 45%. Not only that, we're going to have Accelerate with the increased movement speed from 20%, as well as additional scaling throughout. Is going to be 25% instead base, and that's going to scale up to 20% max still, but it's going to start at 12, so it's a 13%, I believe. Increases it? Or is it 37?
It's, if you were to do the math, 24 to 25 and 12 is 37, so yeah, 13.
I was 37. I was like, 13 is the difference. I had the numbers, I just was wrong way. So it's a 30% increase at base on the Accelerate already. And not only that, you can also see, if we go further down, you can see on the screen there, Stop Time. That's going to get an additional power source as well of an additional 10 power each of the ranks, which will take it from 30 to 110 to now 40 at 120. A lot of changes here, Pom.
Yeah, there are a lot of changes. When we removed the Fatalis effect from him, it hit him probably more more than any of the other ones that we removed it from. And we saw a lot of players have a really negative feels also when they were playing him, right? Like when you popped Accelerate, you didn't feel like you really got moving. And so with all these changes, we wanted to do, one, bring his viability up a little bit because he was struggling in the damage compartment, as also make it so that if you choose to build Mage, you're rewarded for going Mage. But if you do choose to opt into the Fatalis effect to get the ult effect back, you have additional scaling to help you so that you don't feel like you're weaker because of it.
Okay, so there's a little look at Chiron, and then we'll jump straight...
Kronos.
Kronos, who cares? They've both not been played in a while, so I forget the names. Nike's something that's been played a lot just lately.
Yeah, she's been doing really good.
Hopefully not anymore.
She's been doing really good.
Getting some nerfs this patch once again. We're going to be looking at 2 victory, the passive once more. The movement speed bonus that you get went from 3 to 7%, is now going to be 2 to 6%, as well as the decreased bonus power from this. It went from 6 to 10%, is now going to be 4 to 8% overall there. And not only that, we're also going to increase the rend cooldown from 12 seconds to 14 seconds. So hitting 2 different things here.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is 2 victory as a passive gives a lot to our team, especially in the late game. Just having that passive power, having that passive movement speed, even if you didn't necessarily feel it, it makes a big impact on the game. And so we're just toning that down a little bit so it's not the defining thing that causes her to be really good late game. We also took a look at her early game and kind of her boxing power. And against characters that couldn't interrupt Rend, she was doing a lot of damage and it was really hard to fight her. So we're just making it happen less often so there's bigger windows of opportunity to actually get damage in on her.
Okay, well, that's a little look at Nike, and next on the list is going to be Scardy. Yes, Scardy's going to get a little bit of love this patch. Basically, we're going to be doing what we tried to do last patch. Is that what I get?
Yeah, it was on the to-do list off PTS, but we ran into some issues, and then so I think some people saw that there was an issue that was also in live that occurred that was kind of related to it. But now we got it into this patch. It's working properly, and so we're good to go.
Awesome. So Permafrost, Scardy will now retain her speed buff for 3 seconds after leaving Permafrost. So it's an extra viable opportunity to escape using this ability.
Yeah, she's a character that has the ability to block auto attacks, to kite effectively, to send people flying the other direction. She has a slow, she has a root, and then the additional movement speed on top of that is going to completely give her a little bit like another tool in her toolbox to keep that distance.
So it's only going to be 3 seconds it's going to last for.
She has 3 seconds. She could walk on it again and also get the effect again. And the big thing there, she just has another tool in her toolbox.
Okay, Scardy's going to small buff this patch. Next up on the list is Sylvanas. What's the aim of Sylvanas here?
This one is to address some concerns we saw with some of the early Season 4 feedback. Okay. We've seen that Sylvanas overall has been doing really well. He's been like very valued, and that's actually something that through Season 3 we only got there towards the end. Yeah. But with early lane clear and early lane pressure is one of the biggest concerns right now. And so we still want to watch how that plays out, and we still want to see how Season 4 shapes up and see if early lane clear is really that valuable. Okay. But Sylvanas was kind of the outlier of that. His auto attacks were giving a little bit too much early, and so we're toning that down a little bit.
So the auto attacks now, the decreased base magical power on Sylvanas' auto attacks, it was 38. It's going to come down to 35 overall there, and that's going to be the first touch. We're going to be looking again if it needs it?
I think we're just going to be looking overall and seeing how players still develop the Season 2 or Season 4 meta of Conquest and see what is really valued. Right now, it seems to be early wave clear. We want to see that a little bit played out more before we make any further changes like that.
Okay. Next on the list. That was Sylvanas. I guess we move on to T. Tyr is getting some adjustments. So
he is.
We'll talk about we'll say the adjustment first of all, and then we'll discuss exactly what this means in terms of Tyr players out there. So it's to do with his power cleave and defensive stance for you guys to know. It's to do with the heal. The heal will no longer heal twice on the first target hit. So it decreased max healing from 100/180. Yeah. So, explain what this means to the viewers at home who don't understand that.
So, the way the heal worked before was if you hit a target, it would heal you twice for that first target. If you hit like 3 targets, it would heal you 4 times, twice for the first target hit, and then twice after that, and it capped there. And that was when he was struggling in a lot of cases. He just didn't have the potential to sustain in lane. He didn't have a really good 1v1. And that was something we brought up to him a while back. That's right. And now that he has the additional level 1 power, the additional level 1 clear that he has, we just feel that this is giving him too many tools in the lane. He's getting too sustainy. You can't really fight back against him. If he heals up to full. And it doesn't matter if you're 1v1ing him or if you were wave clearing against him, he just heals. So we're just making it so the damage is a little bit more meaningful when you actually trade with him in the lane.
So it seems realistically like he's got to be a lot more careful about 1v1 fights more than anything else, because he's not going to get the same amount of sustain he would normally in a 1v1.
Exactly.
But in wave, he should still have decent clear.
Well, he'll still have decent clear, he'll still have decent heal, but the heal in the wave will also still be weaker. Yeah. So in 1v1, it's significantly weaker. In like a 3 minion scenario, it'll be a little bit weaker.
And the final god that's going to get balanced in 4.2 next on the list is Jing 10. Now I'm going to have to read through these because what exactly is going on with Jing 10 here? Just so I know, because I'm reading this and it's like, ooh.
It's essentially there were a lot of issues that were happening at certain ranks. Like rank 5 in ability had something that was dealing a little bit too much. Rank 3 of something was dealing a little bit too less. And so we've just gone through and fixed a whole bunch of these. I think the big thing to note from here is that these changes overall, they're bug fixes, but they are going to hurt his performance a little bit. And so we just want to keep an eye on him, make sure that the fixes that make him more consistent, see how he plays after that, and then if he needs any further adjustments because he is getting some bug fixes, we make those in the future.
So these bug fixes are actually going to potentially nerf him a little bit, but we're going to keep an eye on it.
Yes.
Okay, so for you guys at home, Jing 10, Furious Roar, first of all, fixed an issue where rank 5 was dealing 4% of the target's maximum health per tick instead of the listed 3%. On top of that, Sky Cutting Axe fixed an issue where rank 2 of this ability was dealing 80 damage instead of the listed 85 damage. That's a buff. That's a 5 buff there, Pom. It's not on nerfs. Fixed an issue where this ability could provide more protection than intended. That's enough. Fixed a description error in the buff bar tooltip, and then Whirlwind of Rage and Steel fixed an issue where rank 3 of this ability would grab targets longer than intended.
Yep. There you go. We fixed those.
You announce that now. Everyone's going to be playing Jing 10 and not maxing out that Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. You're going to get rank 3 and just leave it at rank 3.
The amount of difference between them is definitely not worth it to not get the extra damage.
Terrible.
Definitely not.
Terrible. Well, that's a little look at all the balance changes in this patch. Now, there is going to be a new god, and the new god is going to be on its way any second now. AJ is obviously here with me, and Fishman is on his way as well to discuss all about the latest god that will be joining the battleground of the gods, and his name is, let me get this right, it's Kuzumbo or is it Kappa? Wait a second, Fishman's mic isn't activated just yet because we didn't turn it on, but it'd be fine. Is it Kuzumbo or is it Kappa, Fishman?
My mic's working fine.
Okay, my bad. Kappa. Hey,
it's Kuzumbo.
See what you did there, you little memer.
One second in, and we got Kappa jokes.
So,
I love it.
Kuzumbo, or King of the Kappa, King Kappa?
Sure.
What is he?
So, first, before we get into... I just got shorter. Before we get into Kuzumbo's lore, I want to get into a little bit of high-res lore. When we picked the Japanese Pantheon, one of the things we liked about them is they have some very cool mythological creatures, and we wanted to vary it up a little bit more between just male, female, get some creatures in there. And we've seen some of that. But what we haven't seen really is that in the Japanese Pantheon. And one of the things that both we were interested in doing, we were looking at like the Kappa, we were looking at Tanuki, we were looking at a number of different mythological creatures, and we'd had some community response saying, hey, can we see a Kappa? But as high-res, we can't do a creature unless we have a named version of that.
Gotcha.
So what we tracked down is, although he is a little bit of obscure, Kappas are relatively widely known, and Kuzumbo is the King Kappa.
Let's have a look at this Kuzumbo King Kappa. Now, he's obviously Japanese. You said Fishman there as well, but AJ, confirm for me, what role is this going to be?
Guardian.
He's a Guardian.
The final class of the Japanese Pantheon now has one of everything.
He looks like he should be a Guardian, right?
Yeah, of course. You can play Big Team Japan now.
Now, do you control all 4 of these things on the screen at the same time?
You do not.
Oh,
you do not.
I just wanted to throw that out there for a second because I don't know that much about this god, so it's more exciting. But
they will come into play.
Is he a turtle? Is he a terrapin? What is he?
So Kappas are actually a creature that was based in Japanese mythology, probably off of drowning victims, but it was described to be either maybe, so we have the idea that maybe drunken pirates saw a manatee and thought that was a mermaid. Well, similarly, we have like some weird descriptions leading to this Kappa, which was probably either based on an otter or on a salamander. But it does have a shell. It gives him a turtle-like appearance. Also, the same creature that the Koopas in Mario are based off of is the Kappa. And Kuzumbo, his name means 9,000 Beast. He is the guy who leads them over from China across the sea to Japan and brings them over there and then starts making a nuisance of himself. They're kind of impish little creatures, much like your average Twitch chat member.
Kappa?
Yeah, Kappa.
Kappa.
So we got a little bit of that in his fields as well.
Crown and everything.
He has a crown.
He's beautiful.
He's also got a bowl on the top of his head there.
He's got a bowl on the top of his head.
That maybe AJ can tell us about pretty soon.
AJ, tell me about what this bowl is.
So this is a key part of their lore, and we really wanted to translate that into the kit. Like early on in our research, we were like, this is an awesome, distinct physical feature of them, and it makes sense with how they work as as a myth.
Yeah.
So the Kappas have a water bowl in the top of their heads, and this is where they draw their power from. And in Japanese mythology, actually, the way to defeat a Kappa was to bow to it, and out of respect, the Kappa would bow back and then accidentally empty his own bowl of water and then lose his power, and then he couldn't drag you into the water and drown you.
Right.
Which they would do on occasion when they were feeling especially mischievous. So Kuzenbo's passive is his water bowl, which is gonna fill up as he takes damage.
Okay.
So for every 2% of his health, he's going to gain true mitigations, 1% true mitigations, and this is going to stack up to 10 times. So as you're in combat taking a bunch of damage, you can see there the stacks are building, and even the water bowl in his head starts filling up a little bit visually.
You can see it on the walls of your own character as well of actually that water bowl. So it's very similar to like Fafnir with the pouch at the back. It kind of gives that sort of same style.
So as Fafnir gains protections for earning money, Kuzenbo gains true mitigations for taking damage. And then, so, you know, just to keep the theme rolling here with this ability, keeping it's an open bowl of water on his head.
I was going to say, yeah, how do you get rid of that?
So he loses it over time just because he can time out. But also, if he gets hit by a crowd control ability, that is a displacement effect.
Right.
So a knock up, knockback, stun, or I'm sorry, not stun, knock up, knockback, grab, pull, those type of effects.
Or vanish as well, I believe.
Yes, is that correct, Fish?
That's right.
Okay, yeah, so these ones that, you know, lift him up and throw him around, that will cut his passive stacks in half.
Okay, so he loses his water bowl if that happens.
Yeah, if you bounce him around, he spills his water bowl and he loses some of his natural defenses.
Cool. So it's just going to be a stacking passive over time, and then as he takes damage, and then you can get removed by nothing effects like this. Goodbye, water.
We lost half the... And he took so much damage that he filled back up again right there because he ate a fire giant hit. But
he ate plenty there as well.
Stacking CC on him can definitely get him to lose those mitigations.
Now, that's just the first... Obviously, that's just a passive, and we've still got other things to talk about as well, so we can move on to the very first ability in this guy's kit. He's melee-based on auto attacks as well, right? Because I've not seen his... I just saw his auto
correct.
He is melee-based autos. What is this? Oh, sorry. This is called the Nene Kappa.
That's right. This is called the coolest ability in this kit, maybe in the entire game.
What? It's Ricochet. What?
So the first thing you're seeing there is the bounce targeted that we have on Hoyi's Ricochet.
Okay.
And when we fire this, you're going to see that the turtle shell is actually going to travel out and bounce off that path. When it's done, however, it's going to spawn...
Look at him!
The Nene Kappa.
Look at him!
So in his lore, and when we get the lore video, and when you see his lore in the character screen, it's going to talk about how he's only ever been defeated twice, and one of them was by this Japanese general. The other time was by this cute little Nene Kappa.
Okay.
So he's brought his little ally out to the battlefield, and when he's in lane, when he needs to clear, when he's in the jungle, when he's attacking his enemies, he's going to fire his Nene Kappa. It's going to pass through minions in jungle camps doing damage, like a ricochet projectile.
Okay.
And then if it hits an enemy god, it's going to stop, spawn the little ally, and he's going to help fight with you.
Well, because Pompons not very good at Kappa control.
I think he was showing us how if it reaches the end, it will also spawn.
So once it gets the end of its spawn, even if it doesn't hit a wall, it'll just spawn like that, as you saw there. And you're going to get good damage as well. Now, does it do anything else? Just deal damage? Is that all it's going to do?
Just deals damage.
And if it goes through a minion wave, can we see that? So you can double tap it through them to do more damage, is that correct?
That's right, that's right. Now each hit is going to do the same amount of damage, but you can hit up to 3 times.
Okay.
And then he will come out and tank and do a little damage for you.
That's kind of cool. And he, when you say he tanks and does a little damage for you, can he body block shots or anything like that? Or is he just...
Can, yeah.
He can?
Yeah, just like a Broodling or a Clay Soldier or a Bastet Cat.
Awesome. That's kind of cool. I actually like that idea. So it's like basically a turtle that comes to fight for you.
Well, not
it's not a turtle.
It's the Nene
it's a Kappa.
It's a Kappa.
Yeah.
It's a Nene Kappa.
Specifically the Nene.
And I just have a sneaking suspicion that Twitch is spamming the Kappa icons in chat. If not, now is your chance.
I just know I'm going to be saying on broadcast all the time, watch him whip, watch him throw the Nene, and that's exactly what's going to happen over and over again.
And his victory screen will definitely help you with that.
Oh, well, hopefully we get a little look at that later on. Well,
if Pawn can win.
That's only the first ability of this Guardian. Obviously, next on the list is going to be his second ability, and I'm pretty sure by its name here, AJ, it gives us a good indication of what's about to happen. It's called Shell Spikes.
That is correct. So he activates Shell Spikes, and he gets Damage Reflect. We were looking for a lot of, looking at our Guardians in a lot of ways they protect themselves, and we wanted one that was specifically aggressive. Kuzenbo is positioned as a little bit more of an aggressive Guardian. He wants to really get in the mix of things, deal some damage, and start displacing people, as we'll see when we get to his other abilities. So Shell Spikes really complemented that kit design really well. And what this does is, while it's active, it'll reflect damage back to targets that hit Kuzenbo.
Okay.
And this will rank up in the amount of damage it reflects as you rank up the ability. It also has a secondary effect, though, which is really cool, which is it actually shortens the cooldown of his 1
Or his Nene Kappa?
By the more hits he takes while he's in shell spikes.
Interesting.
So Nene Kappa can come up really, really quickly twice in a row.
The minions get distracted.
The Kappa just like, he goes for whatever's closest. So the Kappa went for the jungle camp.
Obviously he wasn't doing it there because the shell was down.
You can see he just lost like lots of time off of his one. You know, that'll bankrupt your mana pretty quick if you're not careful, but it allows you to chain Kappas into each other.
So just to explain that, if he actually pops that ability when he's been dotted by someone like Anubis, for example, would that actually just like allow it to proc the Nene Kappa even quicker? Every dot to count?
Yes, it will. Every instance of damage triggers that cooldown reduction.
Okay.
The other cool thing that you'll see here is like some of our similar abilities, like a Nemesis Shield or like a Thorns. He's going to have this glowing effects on him to show that he's you know, going to reflect damage. But he also, if you look at his mesh, the spikes on his shell actually grow out to more than twice their size.
Oh yeah.
While this is active. So very cool stuff from our team on this.
It's really cool, and you can also see it really clearly as well, which is the best thing.
And it'll have the effects connecting to the targets too. So kind of like we added with Thorns and Nemesis later in the game to make it really clear you're getting damage reflected. You'll see that visually with Kuzenbo as well.
Now, next up on Kuzenbo is his third ability, and AJ Fishman. This is called Sumo Slam.
That's exactly right.
Does he slam people?
He does, and Kappa actually, mythologically speaking, they are very good at sumo with their water bowl strength that AJ was telling us about. Okay. So here he's going to do what sumos do, which is try to push you out of the ring. So if he hits an enemy god, he's going to take them with them. And it's shorter than say a Vamana dash, but it has that same like steerable. I can turn left with you or turn right with you. If it passes through minions, it's just going to do damage. But the first time you hit an enemy god, you're going to grab them, you're going to take them with you, and each time you pass through a further enemy, or if you hit a wall, they're going to take damage for you slamming them through or into something.
Okay. Right, so you push the initial target still, but he'll go through his teammates, deal damage to the teammate as well as him.
That's right.
And then put him into a wall as well, if need be. And that wall will deal damage as well.
And even if you are in front of an entire stacked up minion wave, you're not going to be able to damage your enemy target that you're pushing here more than 3 times, which is still quite a bit.
Okay, cool. But I mean, 3 times if you go through 3 members of a team is a huge amount, or even through the wave. So standing in the wave against him isn't necessarily a viable idea.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is the Nene Kappa kind of wants you to, as an enemy, stand in front of the wave so you block it and it doesn't help you clear.
Yep.
But then this push is going to help you punish that behavior by pushing them through the wave and doing extra damage to them for trying to counter you like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so he's got basically two things that can help him with wave clear to an extent here.
Sure.
For the most part. And that's his third ability, which I'm excited to see people mess around with that. And you can't
to push him all the way.
You can
into
run
the
around
Phoenix.
in different directions, you said as well. Like
That's right.
You can just turn.
It is a steerable dash. It's not a particularly long. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to grab people and turn around complete 180, but you can push them in at a softer curve.
That's right.
Well, so we got a sumo slam. We got a turtle that spawns out. Sorry, Kappa that spawns out. I'm going to get it right eventually. And then he's got spike shell. Well, the ultimate is the last thing to really show you here, and it's called Watery Grave. So AJ, you might as well talk us through this one.
Yeah, so in the ultimate, he's gonna pull into his shell, and he's gonna spin around and do this big watery effect all around him. So what this does is he gets CC immunity during it.
Right.
He gets true omnidirectional movement in all directions, because that feels, that makes sense with the spinning shell, right? He gets full control in all directions, so no reduction.
Okay.
He also gets a movement speed increase. And then this water is going to deal damage and push people back. So it does the most damage right on activation, and then each hit afterwards does half damage.
Oh, so you could just juggle him away from the fight if you wanted to.
Yeah, so this was a original design goal with this ability was to be a really, really strong peel. So essentially, if I'm going to stand on my hunter and use this, no melees are getting to my hunter.
Unless you got Stone of Gaia.
Because you're going to push everybody
Unless you got Stone of Gaia and you got the proc. It'll
proc you 1 second, but then this lasts longer than 1 second. This lasts almost 3 seconds.
That's
so you'll get hit eventually.
And then Papa's actually showing what you can do as a combination there, where you can actually go straight into sumo charge straight afterwards, and then take him on a wild ride elsewhere as well.
So Kuzenbo is terrifying with blink, because he can blink, turn, push you, ult you. And
put you right where he wants you.
And as a sumo god, and we really wanted to go with a displacement theme. So he has a really heavy displacement. I mean, there's very few gods that have 2.
So are we expecting, when we talk about supports, generally we don't necessarily put them into a certain role to an extent in terms of the support, but you have aggressive supports that are looking to be playing the front line for the most part. We've got backline supports that like to peel, the likes of Capri, and then you've got the ones in between. Where do we think Kuzenbo is going to fall here?
So the Nene Kappa gives him a little bit of poke, from the back line, but in general, his kit is designed to be in the thick of things. If he's in there and you have enemy melees, he can use his sumo slam. He can also reduce the cooldown on his Nene Kappa by using his shell spikes. And then, of course, his watery grave is relatively close range. It's centered on him. So all that's going to make him strongest when you're up close and personal with the enemy, being aggressive.
Yeah, as a base look at him, I can really see like you're going to want to try and do a mix of both almost in certain team fights. He's just very, which is one of the better supports to be if you can be, to have the flexibility to play defense or offense if required.
I think he really wants to go for the big picks, and when he has that chance, he goes for it, and when he doesn't, he'll be in the back peeling a little bit more because he has obviously 2 very strong abilities for peeling.
I would just lock onto the enemy AD carry and just push him away from the fight completely.
One of my favorite things in playtesting has been playing Kuzenbo, and we'll be on like a Gold Fury or Fire Giant, and the first enemy will show up to steal, and I'll just disengage from the Fire Giant and just push this enemy, just carry them away from the team fight, and we can secure the jungle camp. It gets people so far away.
You have some real potential too. If you have the presence of mind to save that sumo slam and your hunter gets low, then you can use that to completely push him away as he's running back to base, which is also useful.
Some Guardians we have in the game as well that do have the ability to be either solo lane or jungle as well. Where are we expecting Kuzenbo to fall into that? So is it going to be available for that, do you reckon, or is it going to be more support oriented?
We had some mixed results in the solo lane, but I actually think there's some interesting potential with his 1 in the jungle for getting that triple hit and then having the little persistent pet to both take damage for you and apply a little bit of his own. We had his kit change a little bit over the course of development. The first time he was tried in the jungle, he struggled a little bit, but his numbers have changed a little bit then, so that's something that our resident test jungler Pawn said that he's excited with the changes.
I would say he's most of the time going to be in a kind of more aggressive duo lane spot. The solo lane is a little bit easier to block out. His push doesn't do quite as much damage to the wave, and the turtle is easily blocked. The duo lane, though, has a lot of good tools, and then I think just if you're a really good Ricochet user, I think he does have potential to be a jungle guardian, definitely.
Now, are we going to be doing a PTS where people can playtest this guy before he goes live, as well as the other changes going into 4.2?
Yeah, definitely.
Do we know when that's going to be happening?
I don't know when
as soon as possible.
It might be ready tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Okay, so just keep your eyes
Sometimes
posted.
we wait till Friday if things are. We've been obviously pretty busy lately with all these kind of things, so we'll keep you updated.
As always, you can follow Hi-Res Chris, who is the most up to date as our producer, on when PTS is going to come out.
You can also follow Hi-Res Ops Team on Twitter, which is not the most glamorous one to follow, but they give you the really detailed information. Yes, they really do.
As it comes out. Well, there's a little look at Kuzenbo. Sorry, I don't know why I keep wanting to change his name on that, but it's Kuzenbo, the king of the Kappa. Now we can listen to his voice pack and his emotes as well, which we've got to come to. So let's hear how this amazing Kappa King will sound. No, we won't.
Kappa, Kappa, Kappa!
There it is.
Kappa, 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 Kappa!
Nice.
Cool as a cucumber. I'm the king of the Kappa. You're not as weak as you look. Just stay right there, Kappa. I won't hurt you. Let's wrestle. Why can't you pickle a seedless cucumber? Infertility! Man, I'm thirsty. Could really go for a cappuccino.
Can we get a couple more taunts?
You look strong, Kappa. I'm gonna kick your butt. I was born in the dankest of streams.
There it is.
Oh, that's a good one. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
See, Papa was so funny about that. He's like, whoa, he actually had to type whoa there as well.
That's the best one.
Now, we did actually show you just at the start there his clap, and I believe he had another emote as well. His clap and wave, right? That's a wave.
Nice.
I like that one. And the clap. Oh, it's back in style. I love it. That's the sort of clap style you want as a Guardian main, as a support player.
Yeah.
You want to really spam and make them feel useless.
Yeah, a big one too. So you just be walking around, even from far away, they can see it.
Big golfer. And obviously, we also have, on top of this,
The recolor.
We're going to be seeing the recolor as well. Now, the recolor is here on your screen. Just have a little look at that as well. Now,
and as you saw in the voice pack as well, Kappa, historically, through mythology, their favorite food is cucumbers. The other way to defeat a Kappa would be to give them a cucumber.
Okay.
You could they even said in myths you would write your name and birth date on it, and then give the cucumber and leave it by the riverbed.
Right.
And then the Kappa would take it, and they would know it was you, and then it would protect you when you were swimming and stuff from any sort of dangers.
Oh, so they wouldn't try and drown you for fun.
They would do that, but if you gave him a cucumber, maybe not. So you got the little, we got the Nene Kappas here eating a cucumber, and then you also heard some references in the voice pack, which is just, they have so much fun lore in the Kappas, and we really incorporated a lot of it into the kit this time, and it just worked out really well.
Fishman has gone. Pompon has rejoined us because we're going to end the stream with a little bit of Q&A for you guys at home. Obviously, we didn't get to do much of it last time just because there was so many items and things. It was a 3-hour show.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wanted to listen to us talk more.
No.
Yes.
No.
We were all tired.
I was sick of it. But for this time, we can do a bit of Q&A, so hopefully we should have some questions ready for you guys to have a little look through and see what it is. First up is Alpha Jackal, who says, could we possibly get a teaser/clue for the new Wisdom tab?
We've been talking about this one a lot. This is one that's high on our priority list.
Right.
We don't have a firm date for this yet, but we just want everyone to know that we're working on this. We're considering it. We're starting to compile some videos and some resources and things that we want on this tab.
Okay.
So
so it is going to be wisdom related still.
Definitely. Yes. We want to keep it with,
be wise.
I mean, game terminology. We see Reddit posts once a week that's like, what does ADC mean and things like that. I'd like to bring more of those in the game into a place where it's easily referenceable, links to, videos made by other people, not just us. So if someone makes a really good tutorial, things like that, streamer features. Yeah. We've had all of these cool things in the game at one point, and we're kind of still looking and narrowing down what's going to go in there, but we have big plans for it.
So it's still work in progress right now. When we get more info, we can let them know closer to a date, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, next question then on the screen will be Awesome. I'm not even going to try. Awesome Pete. It says something like that. Oh, why did we go back to Alpha Jackal?
Awesomeness Pete, I believe it was.
Awesomeness Pete. There we go. Any chance of a 3-man queue coming back? Pop up.
Yeah, so this one...
Don't you dare say yeah.
No. We wouldn't bring it back. The big thing is there's a lot of matchmaking concerns that happen when you have 3 people, especially when you have 3 people who have very wild skill differences, or 3 people who are on the side end of the bell curve.
Right.
It just caused a lot of issues. If at some point we reevaluate and find that it's something that we want to bring back, then totally. But right now it's just there's a lot of strain on the matchmaker when you try and pair a 3-man party against other people.
And we are keeping 3-man in Joust.
Yes.
And 2-man in Conquest, which I've seen as confusion sometimes with 4, but Conquest will 2.
Yes.
Joust 3.
2 for Conquest, 3 for Joust. Easy peasy.
Dual 1. There you go.
Next question, please. What's next on the list here? Is there a possibility to poll the community for feedback on ideas for alternative game modes? Example, 4th ban on Duel.
Yeah, so this is something that we kind of do informal polls by looking at what people are talking about at any given time.
Okay.
The idea of a formal poll for a specific duel feature, for example, is something we can totally look at, and that'd be something that's kind of cool to do. So be on the lookout for that.
So
we were doing feedback surveys a lot last year. We're going to start those back up soon.
Okay.
These are going to ask you a lot of things about the game all over the place.
Yeah.
And then we'll even look into, we've had some ideas before as how to look into doing specific, more targeted polls for some things. But
yeah.
We're going to look into that. Sounds like a good idea. We like community feedback, so...
On the horizon. Next question then. What else have we got for the Q&A from this week? Are there going to be many Morrigan bug fixes, or I guess many Morrigan bug fixes during SMITE patch?
Yeah, Season 4, 4.1 patch was so big. There was a lot of things going on that we did have a lot of Morrigan fixes actually in 4.1, and there's more coming in 4.2.
Okay.
We fixed a lot of issues, been looking at it constantly, so you can always be sure that we're working on Morrigan and making sure that things are getting better. But we've fixed her interactions with Kali. We have fixed it so you can now transform into a god, like a hunter, and burn down the fire giant, get the buff, and then keep it. As you transfer back into the Morrigan. We did fix the bug where you can keep your jungle buffs through transformations. We fixed a lot of the issues that happens like when you were dying or teleporting at weird parts as you transformed. You shouldn't be flying up out of the map anymore. That should not be happening.
Good.
Your recall should work after using it. The bug where your abilities would kind of delay for a little bit coming back, that should be fixed now. You should get those right back instantly. Just a lot of fixes constantly streaming in from her. So don't be afraid to try her out again, because I think she's in a much better state.
There you go. Morrigan is constantly being worked on with the bug fixes. Hopefully, it should be more available for you in 4.2. Oh, at least fixes-wise, not more bugs. All being well. And the next question, I think we've only got time for one more question. What are you going to do differently to make sure the servers are stable enough to play? And realistically, this is the one that we've been asked a lot just lately. It does need a really straight answer here.
Yeah, there was, for about the last week and a half, we've had a lot of server issues. I think everyone's aware of that. And they were due to various issues with some DDoS and things that I think Stu said about. There was also some issues with the ranked being implemented and some of the stuff we did back end. At the end of all this, once we're sure that we're stable and things are going well, we're going to take time to go through all of it and compile information for the community so that they're aware. But we are making steps, we are making efforts, and a lot of the back end stuff that kind of broke things is also things that had to get implemented to fix things in the future. So things should be getting better from here. But we'll have all that information available to you once we're done fixing everything and things are up and stable.
Okay, so we're going to be quite clear about what's happened with the things and what we've actually done to improve it as time goes on.
Yep.
Do we have any sort of date on that sort of thing for the viewers at home at all? And it probably not, but it's just better to say if we do.
I mean, hopefully by next week we have kind of a post-mortem once we have everything fixed. Because I think right now ranked overall has been doing pretty well. We had an issue earlier today, but that one was kind of unrelated. And so as they continue to work through all the stuff, we'll have information.
Okay, thanks very much for your time then, guys. And that's pretty much all we've got time for 4.2 right now. Final thoughts on the patch overall, AJ?
Kuzenbo looks great. I love it. I love his lore tie-ins to his ability. It's always my favorite when lore makes sense as gameplay right away without a whole bunch of extra layers.
Get to play Turtle and a Sumo at the same time. What about you, Pom Pom?
Definitely the Kappas, the Nene Kappas are great. They're like my favorite thing, and like the way they die, they do like an and they go into their shell. They're just so cute.
And the victory and defeat, he has so much flavor, really. It's awesome.
For me, it's definitely the Shuriken nerfs, because I hate crit. But that's the end of me, and that's the end of 4.2 patch. PTS will be up sometime this week. We'll announce that later on. Patch should go live next week?
Yep.
Yes.
Tuesday.
Should be live next week. Leave all your feedback on the forums as per usual. You'll see the patch notes go up straight after the show as per usual. I've been Hindu Man. This has been patch 4.2. Say goodbye to Pom Pom and AJ. We'll be back on the next show.